fuck tales. Woo! Tales of daring do something. Not fuck tales. Woo! Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Welcome to another one of my fireside chats. Has you or someone you love contracted ass cancer? Good. Ass cancer chooses its victims very carefully, and we're all better off without them. Little unwanted visitor over there. I'm tempted to swim out and kill him. Wait until the sun is up. It bothers me a little bit that I can see the sky from underwater. They really need to fix rendering so I can see the surface of the ocean and it blocks out the sky. Honestly, it should be opaque from underneath. At least almost opaque. I should not be able to see the clouds from underwater. You can't in real life. Here's my awesome Sandy Cheeks dome with the underwater tree. Single underwater tree. This is about as big as a tree dome would have to be for a squirrel. As depicted in the SpongeBob SquarePants documentary series, which has been airing since 1999. Wrap your head around that. Feel old yet? I really appreciate the fact that half slabs behave correctly underwater now, because you can make moon pools that don't look so wonky with the full blocks and everything. Because water does not behave the way that it does in Minecraft. You should be able to have the water level be almost anywhere you want, depending on how you would pressurize the structure. Hello, fish. Can I kill you? Can I? What happens if I kill a fish? I can't catch him, can I? Another fish popped out of him like a fucking alien chest burster. That's awesome. I want real fish to work that way. How come actual fish in nature don't work that way? Nature is kind of sucky. It really needs to step its game up if it's going to compete with Minecraft. Not going to lie. Oh, you fucker. Good. The weird thing, too, is in the upper layers of the ocean, it's brighter, which it should be. Because, because sunlight penetrates more. But you can see all the way to the bottom with the same level of brightness. As you descend, however, visibility decreases. That doesn't make sense and shouldn't happen. Or at least there should be layers that impact visibility so you can't see the bottom, so it gets darker even from the surface. I'm sure nobody cares. Literally no one gives a shit what I'm talking about right now. Anyways, what was the purpose of this habitat originally? It was to collect resources so that one day I could set off with a full inventory of the resources I need to build a colony elsewhere, and then go and build a full colony. Have I done that? No, I haven't. I'm going to do that now. It breaks my heart, but it's time to leave this place behind. I may have spoken too soon. It looks like we still have a good deal of work left to do actually making the relevant resources. So I was watching a Count Dankula video about lolcows and about how people sometimes go too far messing with somebody online in order to get pleasure from their suffering, which is an extremely human thing to do. That's a time-honored tradition. Goes back at least several decades. Probably more. Anyway, you can see right away why they picked this guy. He's a German metal fan, Dragon Lord or some shit like that, who is like 300 pounds and talks online about his penis pump and other sex toys. He's like the German Christian and has the added comedy factor of like German anger is really funny if it's a fat guy who can't catch you easily. Like, remember that angry German kid who became a viral hit in like the early ancient days of the internet? Because he was mad at video games. It's the same kind of effect going on there. But people started to take it too far, even in the opinion of some of these members of the community that were targeting him. Like, they started to send death threats. They started to show up at his house And that's where it stops being funny and starts being creepy and sinister. At least in my opinion. But people can't help themselves. They really, really love to. There's a lot of closeted sadists out there, and there's not really a lot of outlet for that kind of energy in today's world. Like, what do you do if if your greatest pleasure in life is causing suffering to other people? You either become a Patrick Bateman type serial killer motherfucker, or you do soft torture on the internet, finding some poor, probably autistic slob. Like a lot of these places, like Something Awful, Kiwi Farms, Encyclopedia Dramatica, they pick overwhelmingly on autistic people, not out of any specific hatred for autistic people, just because, you know, when autism causes a lot of weird behaviors that are easy to make fun of. And probably they would object to that characterization, but if you look at the list of lolcows, Spurgs are overrepresented, which I kind of have strong feelings about, being an asparagus king myself. Spurger king. I mixed up the fucking jokes. Nobody cares. Like, a lot of these people are just figuring themselves out, and if you gave them a couple of years, they would socialize properly. But they're not going to socialize properly if the entire population of the internet comes down on their heads like a ton of bricks. They're going to commit suicide. Some of them have. And that's not cool. There's a lot of people out there who just don't care, who probably post hashtags on their wall about Melania Trump and how terrible the baby concentration camps are that Trump set up. And then they go and they find an autistic kid online and they bully him to the point of suicide, and they think it's hilarious. There's a mismatch there, isn't there? There's an incongruity. Like, to what degree do they really care if they're going out and doing stuff like that? I feel like I should also be gathering sand. I should be. I'm going to need a lot of sand, so I'm wasting time down here. I already have stacks of ore in the ovens smelting right now, so I don't need to hang out for any particular reason. I just like to tool around in my little base. Should I go over there? I'll go over here. So this was fun. This was a fun chapter, but within 2 or 3 videos at most, this is going to have to end because this water is too shallow. There's just not enough challenge building down here. I know I said I would get a Respiration 3 helmet. I'm going to at least try to establish a deep sea habitat without my Respiration 3 helmet. It's going to be a bitch. It's going to be difficult. I think it can be done. And I really don't want to wait until I've been to the Nether and gathered all the shit I need for enchanting either. And in all this time, I've only gotten 18 experience points. You really think I'm going to have the 33 I need for a Respiration 3 helmet by that time? Probably not. Not fucking likely. So, dude, apparently Microsoft has canceled all plans for any kind of VR on the Xbox One platform. Which, I mean, after they came out with Windows Mixed Reality and bought the rights to Minecraft, you would think the obvious way forward would be exclusive Minecraft VR on console by connecting a Windows Mixed Reality headset to an Xbox One S, which has more than enough power to do much better resolution VR than the PSVR is capable of. The PS4, even the Pro, I mean, really. So what the fuck is their game? Why would they buy Minecraft? Why would they come out with Windows Mixed Reality and then be like, oh, whoops, no VR on our console at all? I mean, if the problem is that VR is not selling the way they want it to, they can help with that. They can help by pairing the cheapest, like, desktop quality VR headsets, which are the WMR headsets, with their cheap but powerful home console. A lot of people would buy that. A lot of people bought PSVR, which kind of invalidates their fear. Console-based VR can sell. So I don't know what they're thinking. But they're fucking Microsoft, though, so maybe they thought that they need to be late to the party like they have been every other time, like they were with the fucking Zune. Like, oh no, we're on time with VR. We gotta roll it back a bit. We gotta wait 5 or 10 years and then come out with VR. By then it won't even be anything special. It'll just be something that every console has. I need to build another shovel. Why didn't I just do... Oh, because I didn't have a workbench. Okay. That's a good reason. At least I have a stack of sand smelting while I go collect more sand. The exciting life of an undersea dweller in Minecraft. Speaking of my exciting life, crypto is fucking taking the biggest shit I've ever seen. It's draining the life out of me. Like, Bitcoin is almost down to 6,000 again. Great time to invest, people. Last time I invested in Bitcoin is at 7.5 grand, I think. And because I invested, I was able to turn that within like 3 weeks into over 11 grand. So this is, if you're looking, if you were a crypto late bloomer and didn't get in early on any of the crypto money trains, now is the time. This is another one. You got to learn to recognize it. When crypto looks like it's at its worst, that's when it's actually at its best, because that's when people are waiting to invest large amounts of money in it for a quick turnaround. But SBD is also down almost to $1. So just a month ago, I think, a month? Yeah, a month. It was at 3.4, which would have meant I would have made about $1,200 this month just off of a bullshit internet blogging job, which is not great, but it's decent. It's a decent living. Okay? Probably a lot of people are going to argue with me about that, but I live fairly frugally. And now, with that at 1.1, or I think, or no, 1.009, in fact, I'm going to make about $384 this month, which means I need to make up the difference out of my savings. And when you're bleeding money so bad that you're running off your savings, you got to contemplate some fucking lifestyle changes. I already live such a lavish lifestyle of Taco Bell ramen and Hot Pockets. What did my poor toilet do, right? I don't know how to fucking downsize anymore. I've been contemplating just moving to a different country where the cost of living is cheaper. Because there's places in Mexico where luxury apartments are like $200 for a multi-room apartment, which I could then split with roommates if I wanted to. I wouldn't even have to, though. I could just use all those extra rooms for my dragon dildos and my collection of rare spines. I have Charlie Chaplin's spine. I need to put it somewhere. You can't just put that shit in the living room. Everyone's going to want to touch it at parties. I don't know what to do. Like, I have 1 week left, and if SBD doesn't jump up in that time, I'm going to have to spend out of my savings in order to make rent and utilities this month. And you just fucking know, it would almost be worse if next month it shoots up and I've blown all my money when it was at its lowest. I've cashed it all out at its lowest. That would be the final insult. That's happened a couple times now. I have some kind of unique gypsy curse. Because maybe, okay, I ran over that one gypsy, and maybe, like, I dragged her a couple miles. But really, I mean, if she had rollerblades on, that would have been fun. That would have been a recreational activity. Anyways, I have some kind of unique gypsy curse, because SBD fucking tanks every time I need to take money out. What did I do? Oh, yeah. It really sucks. Like, right at the end of the month when I'm getting ready to take money out for rent and utilities, it fucking tanks, and so I have to. I'm forced to take it out, and then immediately after I take it out, the price goes up again. Like, some cosmic force is watching me, and fucking hates my guts, and I honestly can't blame it. I understand fully why a cosmic entity might feel that way about me, but the feeling's mutual, frankly. Fucking Dormammu. Should I had more ovens. I had more ovens at one time. What did I do? I got rid of some. I don't remember why. I think because I was tunneling through this module to create another one. Let me just, while I'm at it, and I have no more iron, so I can't make another shovel. I'll have to make do with this glass. Don't sass my glass or your ass is grass. Everybody's going to be saying that. That's going to be the hot new trend, the hot new fad this summer. Watch and see if it doesn't happen. You heard it here first. I'm going to need some flat bricks too, so I may as well make some of those. I hate how it makes a number less than 64. So you have to make 4 of them before the numbers even out. Little things like that irritate me. Life is really difficult when that's all it takes to get under your skin. And, you know, bullies figure that out pretty quickly, which is why I'm sensitive about and terrified of ever becoming an object of attention for internet people. Which is, of course, why I made a YouTube and put my videos in public for everybody to see. That was my clever plan to avoid being noticed by anyone. Although, really, nobody's fucking noticed me on this website. So, everything is going exactly according to plan so far. I'm going to harvest some wood underwater. There we go. That's a shockingly little wood, but remember, this is just the source of wood for making tools. And for that purpose, it's entirely adequate, because you don't need replacement wood that often. I think you can't make coal. Can you make coal out of planks? Can you make coal out of planks? I almost want to test that. But I'm busy smelting. Because I think you can only make coal out of logs, in which case there's actually a reason to keep wood in log form. I'm not pleased about having to go back to air shelters. That's like Stone Age technology. That's back in like infinitive. Like way back when there was no deep water, so I had to go use MC Edit to carve out a trench in a custom map and then build in the trench, which you can see in my deep sea outpost video. And there was just no way to breathe underwater. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm gonna die. Yep. That fucking fucker. That's gonna drain me of precious experience. At least I died right under the moon pool. Why did I have raw potatoes? What was I killed by? I was killed by a trident zombie, I think. Tridents are no joke. Where's my metal pants? Here's my metal pants. Good. That's at least something. Is he still out there? If he's still out there, I want to kill him. Yes, he is. Oh, he's stuck in that hole. You know what I'm going to fucking do? You dipshit. That should drown him. You can't drown zombies in water. They're already drowned. You can suffocate them in sand, however, which is what I just did. I killed him in the worst way possible. Save for lava, which is a brutal way to die. So is getting eaten by a shark. I think if I was going to be eaten by a shark, I would want to be wearing a backpack full of pop rocks so he fucking explodes. I would want the memorial video of the shark exploding in slow motion to be on 9gag. That's my last will and testament, in case anybody ever finds this long after I'm deceased. That's better. This was always kind of a dismally dark, drippy module to sleep in, at least. It's like in Futurama, where they tour apartments, and there's an underwater apartment, and it's just a metal cube that's rusty and drippy with one giant washing machine style round window with the squid on it. It's like, you want dank? We got dank. They don't mean like dank as in like memes. They mean like it's moist and moldy, which is not a good time. Molding in your living space is not a good time. That was one of the things that the owners of this house harped on when I was renting. It was like, don't let mold grow anywhere, because there are inspectors that come and devalue the house if there's even a speck of mold. So they're like, you need to turn this fan on when you use the shower. You need to look for spots on the ceiling of the kitchen, and blah blah blah. And I do all that shit, but holy shit, I didn't realize that fucking mold is such serious business. I saw a really deep chasm down here. It looks really deep. How deep is it? Wow, okay. Maybe I should just build a little habitat down. No, it's really narrow. Yeah, that's really deep, but it's also really narrow. I want to find a biome that's just entirely like that. And entirely that deep. It's not going to have coral, though. It might have dolphins. I don't know how the terrain generator works in this iteration of the game, though. They may have reduced the size of oceans and made only the trenches the deep part. I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case, because fucking building deep sea colonies in this game is my bread and butter, and the reason why I continue to play this game. Uh-oh. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my underwater base. Hopefully there's less zombies in the deep sea. Probably there's more, actually, though. Come to think of it. I won't be able to carry all this with me. I might have to turn on coordinates so I know where on the map the new colony is. I'll just have to find the nearest ocean in like a straight line, so I can use a compass to navigate there. Let's smelt some sand. Yeah, happy smelty sand time. So who's your YouTuber senpai? My YouTuber senpai is Vinny from Vinesauce. Sorry, Joel. You may have my penis, but you'll never have my heart. I wish Vinny senpai would notice me. He's such a goofy Italian meatball. 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 And he just embraces the absurdity of all the like 1980s kitsch surrounding the Mario Bros. I don't know why he took on such a fascination for that series, but man, did he ever. I should really bring this because I can make a large amount of wood with it, and it doesn't take up a lot of inventory space until I do. I don't need that much. I don't need to bring this with me. This is probably a good enough source of food, so is the potatoes. Let's see. Almost done smelting. So I'll need a lot of dirt. I'll need a lot of half blocks. Get some half slabs in here. Almost totally full up. I don't think I'll need trees. I can get trees from the shore easily. I will need torches. I will need dirt blocks. Watch me just fucking drown and lose all these resources and then have to gather them all over again. Probably that's what's going to happen. Probably you should just, if you're watching an old episode, you should just scrub ahead in the playlist and watch that exact thing happen to me. I don't do very. I often predict my own failure, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know why I keep doing it. It's a mystery for the ages. Potatoes. I should really make more baked potatoes, honestly. That's the most energy dense form of food, and if I'm gonna go fuck off on an adventure, I may as well have a lot of food with me. There we go. What do I really need? I don't need sticks. Need a lot of glass. That there. There. I just need as many building materials as possible, and probably also the bed, come to think of it, because I don't want to have to spend the night in real time at the dark ass bottom of the ocean before I've cleared out even one module. Let's see, do I need... Yes, I do need 2 of these. I don't need a bow and arrow. I've never used it. Never once have I used the bow and arrow. I should have a shovel, I think. It's a shame to leave all this behind, although if I ever come back this way, this will be a hard thing to miss. So man, money ideas. I've been sending work out to publishers, and you know, it's so common to be a cliche that if you're a writer, you fucking live on starvation wages until somebody notices your work, which is about as likely as being a YouTube sensation these days. Like if there's a new game in town, you got to get in on it at the ground floor. I got it on Steam at the ground floor, which is the only reason I do even reasonably well there. Which used to be like 30 to 50 SPD per post, and now it's down to about 1/10 of that, which is not great. I don't know what I did. I think most of the whales, which are the high earners on the site, stopped manually curating and instead now sell their votes or sell re-steams, or they delegate their SPD. So having those people as followers doesn't help anymore because they don't necessarily auto vote you. I wish they hadn't done that because I'm suffering as a result. When am I not suffering? I don't think I'd understand life if I wasn't suffering. It sounds like a pretentious writer thing to say. But in all honesty, I do my best work when I'm miserable, and I have not been miserable for the last several months, and I've also not done any writing in that time. Now, well, I mean, I've done writing for work, but I haven't gotten almost any work done on my novel, my recent one. I don't think that's a coincidence either. What was I getting? I was getting a sapling to restart the process. So when I come back here, I can always swing by here just for an easy underwater wood source, although, because I expect by that time I'll have stripped the coast bare. There's still plenty of trees, so it's hard to take that seriously, but over time, especially back when the leaf blocks used to be the fastest way to purge modules, I used to just completely devastate coastlines. They used to just look like a forest fire hit them from the air. If I get some wood, if I get some wood and use that? Because I can't carry that much. But I can carry food, and I need to make extra spaces, so I think I'm going to get rid of that and fill that space with potatoes. I'm excited to finally... I mean, we're not there yet, but I'll finally be moving on from this little habitat. I only intended for this to be a little pit stop, but I got into the habit of just expanding and expanding and expanding, like I should be doing at the colony. But I guess this was a fun little nostalgic detour, because back in the early days of Minecraft, there was no deep ocean. There was only shallow water oceans. So this sort of takes me back to those days when the water was like 13 units deep at most. So all your bases were just necessarily shallow water bases. I think now the deepest ocean areas are like 32 to 33 units deep. which still isn't great, but it's deep enough that there's actually a point to putting an underwater structure at the bottom of it because it's hard to get that deep and then get back to the surface without dying. So having a base at the bottom with air and food and stuff inside is actually kind of a boon, especially if you plan to do any kind of underwater work like harvesting kelp, which is what I plan to do. I'm going to make a kelp farm, not because I care about kelp or have any need for it, but because that's the thing to do with an underwater base, and that's what I like to build. I wonder if there will actually be underwater kelp farms in the future. I know there's fish farms underwater, but they send scuba divers down. They don't have like permanent habitats down there yet. Imagine they will. I've talked about this in the past. I think that's one of the only economically realistic way to have people working underwater continuously, like in habitats. There's not a lot you can do that's profitable enough to justify the cost of such a structure and its continuing operation that actually requires that structure, that requires people to live underwater. Sadly. It's the same problem facing space. There's nothing we can do in space that's profitable that actually requires humans. Everybody just takes for granted that that's our future, so we're working towards it, but nobody takes for granted that we need to start building underwater settlements. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's okay, it's raining. And there's a fucking trident zombie. No, you don't. You don't you fuck me. Don't you fuck me, I'll fuck you. They're spinning, and I can't stop them. The sword does nothing. They just live there now. That's their home. Do you have any idea what terrible things I would do to have an underwater house even this large? I wouldn't be growing trees in it because in real life you don't need to do that. But to have this much open area and a giant like grass, I wouldn't want it to be glass for obvious reasons. I'd want it to be acrylic. But these domes and things, like I've seen transparent acrylic tunnels in aquariums. So make it out of that. Make it out of that. And I've seen some that have like domes in the middle of the dolphin aquarium, so you can see them swimming underwater from in the middle of it. Like just to have an underwater house built out of those same components that they make those underwater rooms and tunnels and aquariums with, to have that kind of view, I would do anything for love. Anything you're thinking of. I would do anything for love and an underwater house. But I won't do that, you fucking sicko. I won't do that. Why would you even ask me? Like, to be able to grow my own food at the bottom of the sea? Are you kidding me? And I probably would want it shallow water in real life, though, because decompression issues would apply. So if you build it with a moon pool depth much deeper than 21 feet, or even any deeper than 21 feet, then you'll saturate with nitrogen, and you won't be able to surface without decompressing, which greatly complicates the structure design, increases the cost, and increases the danger. So you really have to build in very shallow water if you want to just be able to swim directly from the moon pool to the surface, or you need like an airlock of some kind to maintain one atmosphere inside. I've given a lot of thought to this, as you can see. So unfortunately, in real life, the kind of habitats a regular person could feasibly build are not very deep. But you still get the cool factor of living underwater. I mean, you get a great view. And 21 feet deep, it's actually 25 feet deep because you have to include the length of the legs on which it sits on the ocean floor, is deep enough. It's deeper than you've probably ever free dived. It's deep enough to where you're well and truly submerged, but you're not deep enough that storms won't fuck you up. So you'd have to be in like a lagoon that's not in the open ocean. You need some amount of physical land protection from ocean swells. So you're really limited on where you can build. Even if you find an ideal location in terms of the physics of it, you then have to think about, okay, who do I have to bribe in the local government in whatever third world hellhole you decide to build this in? to get past the environmental regulations, because there's a lot of environmental stuff prevents people from just building anything they want to in the ocean, which kind of sucks. What am I saying? It sucks incredibly bad. That's probably one of the biggest reasons there's not a lot of stuff in the ocean, because of all the fucking paperwork. You spend as much on the fucking paperwork and getting cleared to environmentally to build anything as you do on the actual structure. So just take the cost, which is already astronomically high, and double it. Think about that. I think I have everything I need. I think so. I got plenty of food. I've got plenty of resources. I'm going to end the episode here. I apologize. I know I'm a cock tease. Of course, you can rectify that if you go subscribe to my pay site, where you can see everything. But next time, that'll be the episode to see. Not this episode, not this shitty episode. I wasted your time by having you watch this. But come back next time, and I'm going to scout the oceans around this lagoon that I'm in for a deep sea biome large enough to build an entire colony in. So that'll be the one to watch. Stay tuned for that. Stay on the edge of your seat. Every moment of your life between now and then is a waste.